Welcome in the Cafe Nightly Show. I'm your host, the Goldsmith. It is the 12th of March, 2024, and it's a Tuesday, and we got a collection reveal coming up in the next couple of days. But we have a couple other exciting things going on, things that kind of are tickling along the way, things that I would expect to happen. And look at Upland is back in action with a holiday sale, a holiday bundle sale, St. Patrick's Day Bonanza. Get into the details there. That is a USD only sale. Go figure. First time we've seen that in a while. No, it's this continuing trend. We'll get into a little bit on it. Of course, there's a reason why we're in a USD trend. We kind of can still see things on the UPX market. That's peer to peer. I even said that yesterday, and then we have another one of these USD direct sales. So we'll look at that, the details there, what pricing looks like, and how you participate. Genesis Week 2024 exhibitor applications are open as of today. Get into some of the details there because this is exciting. There are some notes dropped in. I can't say enough about what that experience was like to be able to have participation live in Genesis Week, what that opportunity is like for meeting new uplanders or uplanders you haven't yet met, for meeting people that you've known for years but never met in person. And ultimately, if you do have a meta venture, if you have a layer 2 project, ultimately, if you just want to talk to other uplanders about what you are trying to do in upland, a booth is a great place to do that. We'll have this discussion about what's being offered, what I saw from some of the booths last year, and this idea of why you might want to do so. Because again, this is about making a choice about money. It might sweeten the pot. It might make it more likely for you, make it something that you are more interested in going to. Maybe you're more interested in going to Genesis Week because of this. And maybe that makes sense. So we'll get into those details. I do also going to drop in here. We're going to say Goldie finds out because Lily grabbed my hand or right by my ear and pulled me a little bit before I could do something silly. And that was, look at what my reveal was from the sale, the sale we discussed last night, but the sale of bundles, the sale of the travel bundles. Obviously, I've got plenty of cars. Didn't need to get the cars, but the random allocation of properties, it's still a little fun. It might have felt a little expensive. I might have been thinking, ooh, this is the last one of these USD sales I can do for a while. My bank account is crying, but it was fun, and I did it, and I'm going to find out what I got. I don't know yet. I just know the UPX value that I got. I got a little bit of UPX back, a little more than 1,000 to 1. So maybe squeaking the value there, especially if I got a property that is in a collection, or if I get a property that's really special in a special place, special utility. But we'll find that out together because I don't know just yet. And with that, before we even get there, let's just get the disclaimer out of the way. All views and opinions expressed by myself, they're mine and mine alone. Should not be taken as game strategy advice, should not be taken as financial advice, and they don't represent the game of the team of Upland. Positive about Upland sometimes I'm less, but again, ultimately, the team of Upland, game of Upland is not represented by the things I have to say in this show at night. Do want to put out as well, we are trying to put out the news, we're trying to put out information from players. We do interviews. When we do have players on, they have their own opinions, they're entitled to them. They're not game strategy advice, they're not financial advice. Should be taken as coming from the team or the game of Upland, and they don't necessarily represent myself, the Goldsmith, of the Cafe Nightly Show. That's an easy one. Get the disclaimer out of the way so we can go and take a look at a few things. And survey says, let's do before we do the announcements, I just want to do it. I want to see what I got. So what was just dropped here, very new announcement, very recent announcement. We're going to take a look at that announcement together. We are going to go look at a couple addresses. I'm going to take those addresses and I'm going to find out what I've got. All right. So as always with these sales, I say as always, we've only had a couple of these. Upland does put out the information, a spreadsheet of some sort, so you can go and see what you got. But it also serves as a sort of verification of what other people got as well. I mean, if you're trying to look across the board and say, hey, Upland promised this landmark. Did someone get this landmark? Who got this landmark? You can go and take a look and see that someone got that landmark. And you can, if you're so inclined, figure out who got that landmark. So let's go find out what I got and if I got that landmark. Live updates, travel bundle sale. Everyone, here is a link to the list of the properties assigned to players in the travel bundle sale. This came out 10:36 my time. That happens to be less than 20 minutes ago. So this is fresh. This is fresh, so fresh that it popped up and dinged me, and I hadn't gotten a chance to take a look at what my properties were just yet. So if I go down here, I search for myself. I either could go and use a Control F, or I could take a little more time and scroll down one more, and I'm almost there. I'm almost there to the Goldsmith. I find myself here, the Goldsmith, right here. 2 properties, 318 South Willow Ave in Fresno. It's no secret because we know what those bundles are. I got 2 properties. I did pay close to $130 for them, and we'll find out where that value lies. Again, as I mentioned, the UPEX equivalent I got was about 180,000 UPEX, and I just don't know what that relates to. So see if I get this address here, get that in and see if we can get searched to find it. Looks like it's 318 South Willow Ave in Fresno, California. It is a big fatty. It has no collection value, but it's a little bit of a large property. I've been looking for, I've already bought a couple in Fresno. These larger properties, these greater than 5,000 UP, 2 properties have an opportunity, if they're the right scale, and I say if they're the right scale, to fit some of the larger factories onto them. Sometimes it's hard to get a property that's going to fit there. This isn't quite big enough for that largest factory, that huge giant monster of a property, monster of a factory. Don't quite have that opportunity here. If I take a look, again, jumping back to that property, obviously it's Fresno, so it is minted out. It's a very large property, and it's the southeast corner here of the city. So we'll see how I decide in the next day, because I'm gonna think about it. The reason I'm gonna think about that is because it's a 76,000 UPEX mint, and I have something else I could do with that UPEX. I got 2 days between now and the collection reveal. Thursday is the collection reveal in Lake Tahoe, or South Lake Tahoe. So that's kind of exciting that's coming up. With that collection reveal in South Lake Tahoe, I have a property that I might want to buy on the secondary between now and then, just based on pure speculation on what might hit collection. Also, I just like to own on a certain area, so I might avail myself of the UPEX that I got to buy that. I might sit on this reservation. Maybe I turn around and I can still purchase it with UPEX. Maybe I pick up some UPEX here. I'm not UPEX flush at the moment. I don't have 4, 6, 8, 10,000 UPEX just sitting. Oh, sorry, 10,000. A million, or 5,000, 6,000, 8,000, 10,000. AKA a million UPEX just sitting around. But I can figure things out. So that's my first reservation. Obviously, I would say non-collection property, large property, something I would have interest in minting. We do see that some of these large properties, even though they're hard to sell and flip flip for a huge profit, some of them still flip for a profit because people do want some of those properties for reasons of building a large factory. 76,000 UPEX to build a property big enough to build a large factory. That's not horrible. It is in Fresno. Once we have transportation between cities and have to move assets, it's not that far outside of a couple major cities on the West Coast. So it's maybe a calculation I will take for keeping that in here. 312 South Elm Drive in Beverly Hills. Let's see what that property is. And I did lead with a caveat that if I don't have 2 properties that I want, or if I don't want either of my properties, I can always take the UPEX that I got and apply that towards purchasing something that I want. And what are we looking at? Oh, look at that. Right in a nice unminted area. Oh. And wow, look at that. Non-collection property. Technically Beverly Hills, technically Los Angeles, but otherwise no collection. Maybe take a look at the street collection just in case. I don't get too crazy about street views. So we'll take a look. I will have to take a look there. And again, I'm not going to say I struck out. I'm gonna say this definitely was a risk taken. It definitely was a new neighborhood to get into here in Beverly Hills. Maybe I want to get into Southwest Doheny. Maybe that's an area I want to be in. It's an interesting thing that happened in this bundle, and one of the things that happened is a lot of these properties are in areas that aren't yet released or are in the process of being released here very shortly. So it is kind of interesting to see what got reserved and what got put out, and how we kind of got properties in areas that weren't yet released and were going to be released later. So yeah, we can take that what it is. We did have those new areas released in Miami out of this. We had properties in Manhattan that again were lot properties, were properties that it sounds like some of those properties were properties on expired accounts, on accounts that were deleted or for one reason or another deleted accounts. And we know some of those deleted accounts had to do with jailed properties, aka people who were jailed who were never getting out of the game, deleting those accounts, which is good for the economy, getting those properties off the jail list, getting them reserved or held out from the economy, and that somehow getting back in. So that is exciting if that's what was happening here. That's what it sounds like some of those properties were. It definitely looks like some of those properties were the equivalent of hidden gems, aka the property was never mintable in the past and obviously made to be mintable during the sale. Again, we do have a couple positives out of it. Can I say that I won because I got like 1,300 UPX per UP2? Absolutely not, I would say. But it was an experience that I chose to be a part of. It was something that I'm gonna have to go back and look at that Fresno property. That might be something I want to buy at Mint because I want to have that utility, that size of property, that potential. Again, nobody knows. I don't know if there's going to be a factory that I want to sneak in there. That's a different size factory than we have right now. The largest factory won't fit the other large factory. That's overkill size for the second largest factory. So I don't know why I need it quite that size, quite that shape, other than the fact that there might be something around the bend that makes that property worthwhile. Maybe I just scoop it up and hold on to it. And with that, I just want to put a couple takeaways from today when it comes to this sale. First and foremost, you are buying sight unseen. You're buying a little box in the corner with a piece of tape over top of it, and you just don't know what's in there. In Australia and many parts of the world, they call them lucky dips. We could call them grab bags. We can call them, rolling the dice and finding out what you get. But ultimately, what you're looking at is an opportunity for Upland to sell properties in a different way. These are properties that might not mint as well, or might not be a good opportunity to mint in a traditional minting, in that they're not a bunch of properties to release at once. It's not like it's half of a city they want to release at once. Many of these properties are scattered throughout Manhattan or scattered in Chicago in these little corners of properties that were stuck that were stuck and not able to be released for one reason or another. So it was kind of cool way to distribute those or get those out into the public. It's nice that the way this is distributed, I can either choose to get that property or turn around and take the UPX and do something else with it. I like a little bit of a gamble. This was a bigger gamble than I usually take. I don't know why. I think I was inclined just because I just booked stuff for Genesis Week just because I was excited to go and take that that personal leap. And again, it was one I had to take for myself, knowing two things: knowing that I was having a hard time having enough information, or feeling I had enough information to make the call, or in a justified sense of value. Again, we didn't know much about what properties were in there. We didn't know any assurances of what approximate value in UPX of properties would be getting. We knew that there was a chance that we get no collection properties, but we didn't know exactly what that looked like for types of properties that are going to be in there. But ultimately, I got two fat fatties. I got two large properties. I like large properties. I own a number of large properties already in the game of Upland. I got to the point where I probably own as many as I need, but that big one in Fresno might just be a piece that I want to add to my collection. And we'll see over the next week whether, or rather next several days I should say, whether I make that decision or not, because I only have so many days to make that decision, and then those get reverted to the economy. They get reverted to the overall community in Upland. They can come and go mint those properties if I choose not to. So keeping that in mind, I'm gonna make that decision. I only have so much time to do so, and I have on the back side of a collection reveal to decide if I want to buy a property that may or may not be a collection, or if I want to use it in the collection reveal to mint properties after they are revealed. I've got choices, and I'm gonna make them over. There we go. I'm adding a couple things in here. We're definitely worth continuing to look at, and the big one, or one of the big, really pushed me along here. Something I've been waiting for announcement. I'm waiting for a couple more announcements on this. We'll get them trickled in. I can promise you that it won't be one waterfall. It'll be a trickle and a trickle and trickle, and then probably we'll get a waterfall at some point. But expect small little announcements about Genesis Week between now and Genesis Week. And I'm going to go and do this before I worry about the asset sale. All right. So 2024 exhibitor applications are open. To understand exhibitor applications, we can look at 2023 Genesis Week, largely being a celebration of Upland. There were some announcements that came out of that, things that were new, that were coming up, new features in the game of Upland. It was exciting for people. People had a good time learning and meeting the Uplanders that they may have already known. Again, known online, meet them in person. But 2023, we introduced a couple things. There's some great stage panels. There was some. I did a great stage panel. No, there was a great stage panels. A couple great stage panels put on where people could, interact with some of the team members, put some information out, get more information that hadn't been put out in official announcements. Those in-person interviews. There was some interviews that were done at Upland's offices in Las Vegas, which are pretty exciting. And then, of course, we had things like roundtables, and we had opportunities to sit down with people who are real, decision makers at Upland, or people who are in key roles, who could give you a better insight than you're going to get from Lizette or than you're going to get from X1, because they are ultimately not community managers. They are people who are on the ground in UGC, or they're partners of the company, like John over at Nowhere. So it was an exciting opportunity to go and sit down with those people. Good to see a Wolf Warner. It was one of those opportunities to be able to sit down and again, get information that you wouldn't otherwise get, ask these questions, feel like you're part of the community. And that was something that was new to 2024 or 2023. They're rolling that over into 2024. They're rolling over something else that was really important in 2024, and that is these exhibitor booths. Essentially, the opportunity to sit and have a table and talk about your projects, whether it be a layer 2 project, whether it be a meta venture that you run, if you've got a node group that you're trying to represent, whatever it is, it's an opportunity to put the best self or your best self forward. And there's some pretty cool things the way they've got this set. They put this little note here: why to apply. Elevate your project. Your dedicated booth is more than just space. It's an immersive experience that allows you to directly engage with an enthusiastic audience, providing immediate feedback and forging meaningful connections. I like the meaningful feedback. I like that instantaneous reaction of you showed somebody whatever it is, your layer 2 game that's in beta or in alpha, and you say, hey, look at this, how do you like this? And they say, yeah, well, why is the guy's green? And then you can think about that. You can take that. You workshop that. It's different than having a Discord discussion once a month. Now you're sitting with people who might otherwise not engage with the game because they're there in person. Maybe they engage in a different way. Maybe you have better feedback, a more direct feedback that you would than you would have otherwise. Or maybe you will have a community that you've been growing the game of Upland for the last 2 years, and you want to reach new people. And now you're meeting dedicated Uplanders who may be the exact people you want to reach. So it's kind of exciting to be able to have that. Spotlight your innovation. This is a prime opportunity to highlight your work, make a lasting impact. I would agree with that. Again, if you've got something you've put the time in, you're about ready to put it out there, you just want to show it to people, it's the opportunity to do so. And then that showing it to people could be preparing for the launch of a layer 2 project. It could be an opportunity to essentially show your stuff. If you've got a showroom, maybe not a showroom that's entirely secondary sales, but if you go to a showroom and you're selling all these map assets that you design, spend the last 10 months submitting map assets, and now you got 10 models in, then you're pretty excited about them. It might be an opportunity to highlight these things. Obviously, there's a cost involved, so that there is a break-even point to that. There is a question whether you can justify the cost for, what you're doing for activities in the game Upwind, and it's an unforgettable experience. As an exhibitor, you will have, again, a rewarding and memorable experience. I'm gonna put this a little differently. I can look at Upwind's language. I can look at my thoughts. You get a chance to take pride in the project you've been working on. You have the opportunity to get feedback from people who are ultimately in the community. And ultimately, if you are looking at Upland as a community, which a lot of people do, and that's one of your core tenets of Upland, I like the people. There's things that the team of Upland does that makes me mad, but I like the people. If that's your mentality and you've got a project you're working on, that's your opportunity to get in front of the people. If that's why you're here. It's a different way of engaging with people. Keep in mind, there's still networking. There's still plenty of opportunity if you do show up in person, if you can swing it, if it works out for you. If you live down the street, it's hard not to justify it. But again, everybody has to take time off work or get a babysitter or whatever you have to do to be there. So it definitely does take a decision, and some people are not in the position to make that decision to go. But if it's something that you want to do and you want to interact with people, this is one way of doing so. So those applications are open. We got some more details on here. Of course, the fine points, the cost, and what you get, and how it works. And it's an application as opposed to just signing up and putting your name on the list, and anyone who signs up gets it. No, it's not quite that way. So we'll go into a couple of details here. Again, Genesis Week 2024 approaching very quickly. It'll be here before we know it. I know. By the time we get some of the next level of announcements, it'll feel like I've got too little time to make a decision to go or not. I've already made the decision to go because I know that window is going to close really fast. The ticket prices are going to start going up, and then the availability is going to start going down. And before we know it, it may be too late for you to make the decision, or you're going to feel like, oh shoot, I priced myself out of the decision by waiting as long as I did. So that is something where we say it is limited time. Act as you can. Know that we are getting closer. With applications now open for exhibitor booths, this highlights your innovation, your creativity, puts your property forward, gives you the opportunity to meet the neighbors, meet the people in Upland that are going to be potentially patronizing whatever your business is, or just building that community you're already working on, and unveil some products. If you've got a layer 2 product, if you've got some map assets, if you want to put it in front of live eyeballs, this is a way of doing so. Again, layer 2 initiatives are a great way to go and push through here. Your UGC side, I think the UGC, UGC content creators, definitely 100% go in there. Content creators, media content creators, people who do broadcasting, or people who use Upland as part of their platform when they do other things, when they're doing outreach or whatever it is with their own communities. If they're outside of Upland, but Upland is a part of what they do, more power to you. Highlight what it is you do. Again, this is an applications opportunity, meaning if you tell them that you like to slice tomatoes and you want to slice tomatoes at your booth, and you might cuss at people, maybe Upland will take that with a grain of salt and decide that maybe this isn't your year for a booth. It's possible. But it's possible that, maybe they like salted tomatoes. I don't know. We'll have to see. But of course, with Genesis Week, a couple months away. They're starting to take these applications. There's going to be a limited period of time to get the application in because Upland's going to have to do things to get these booth spaces ready. And they want to have it locked in with the numbers and with who's going to be doing it so that they can get their final details all ironed out. Of course, at your booth, it's going to be more than just a small presentation. It's going to be immersive. It's going to be interactive. It's an opportunity to directly connect people. And there's just something really cool. I got to scroll down. Oh, look at this. There's Dirk in a set of VR glasses. Is that what I'm seeing there? It looks a little bit like that. But a couple things to jump in on here is first and foremost, it's an application. Like I said, you got to put the information in. You're going to have to eventually submit some graphics. So it's going to take time, and you guys be ready to move towards that process. You do have to have a ticket, so you can't exhibit in a booth without having a ticket to the event. Keep that in mind. So price that in if you're trying to budget. And to help get ready to apply again, think about what you're really going to be doing. You have an opportunity to fill out the application. So we'll take a quick look at the application and know what type of things you have to look at are. But ultimately, this is going to be something that you have only a couple weeks to figure out, because the application is going to close on Sunday, April the 7th at 11:59 p.m. PT. That's about 3 weeks out. Process review. Our team will meticulously review your submission. After the end of the deadline, you'll be notified via email regarding status of the application. Again, as I mentioned, there may be other steps you have to do afterwards if you're approved. So the timing makes sense here. Click here to apply to be an exhibitor at Genesis Week. Let's take a look at that application. Then we'll come back and we'll look at what the cost is and the realities here. We know what the deadline is. All right. Please fill out the information below. These are the type of things they're looking at. Deadline is Sunday, April the 7th at 11:59 p.m. PT. Again, you have to have tickets. They're selling the tickets again. Name of your project, first and last name of you. This is the person who will own and operate the booth. And again, own and operate is key here. Your Upland username. You have to be an Upland user. What are you doing with an Upland booth if you're not an Upland user? Your Upland email address. Your project category, and then you have to put a description of your project. Think about it. If it's something you want to do, you have to put that in there. You're gonna realize that very quickly here. If you get accepted, you're gonna have to be headed to Vegas. So if you're already going, it's a great opportunity to make the decision. If you've got a project, this is gonna push you over the edge. This is just that little thing that makes Genesis Week that much more interesting to you, because you've put the last 10 months into your Layer 2 project. Then absolutely put a little effort in this form. There's not a lot of questions here. Put a little effort into that description of your project and make sure Upland chooses you on this side. Again, the key thing here is I don't think it's a highly exclusionary process, but what I do think is A, they want to make sure it's tied to Upland. And B is, if there's 1,000 people who apply, they're gonna winnow it a little more down than if there's 50 people, of course, right? So that's going to be another consideration there. Let's take a look. Let's get down here. There's TML here. That's at his booth last year, and he's talking to some folks. And that looks almost like that's Squall, if I can see here correctly. And again, try to judge people by body type, not seeing their face. That's a tricky thing to do. But it might very possibly be the truth there. Exhibitor booth fees. Welcome to exhibitor booth fees. This is not Upland says it's a modest fee. It doesn't feel like a modest fee, but I just spent more than this money today on 2 properties. I didn't know what the heck I was getting, so maybe it is modest. $100 fee to have a booth. But you're not just throwing $100 into a hole in order to sit at a table for a couple hours. Over the course of a day and a half. Ultimately, it'll be a few hours on the Friday. Just throwing that money in a hole. That money is actually going to do something. And I'll be honest with you, what it does, I think, is worth more than the $100. And I'll tell you what it does. So again, you have to have your ticket. You have to be going. You have to pay the booth fee of $100 if you're accepted. If you're not accepted, obviously, you have to pay the booth fee. And here's the perks. As an exhibitor, you'll receive unique benefits crafted to ensure your experience is both rewarding and memorable. The booth is going to be equipped with a 6-foot table and a cloth. I've been to events where they give you a 6-foot table and a tablecloth, and they say, give me $100, have a good weekend. Been there, done that. it's what it is. Here's the second part. Why is Upland asking you for $100? A custom 23.5-inch by 79-inch high retractable banner for your booth. And these were lovely last year. You put a little work into your graphics. You go talk to your friend who's an artist up in Upland. If you're an artist in Upland, more power to you. You do your own work. It doesn't have to be a third party, of course. But if you have somebody who does really good work, get that done. Get your graphics done. Get your logo redone. Make it really visually appealing. This is not a small retractable banner. And these retractable banners, I've had some in business, and they cost you between $50 and $100 to get made. Generally, sometimes more, depending on what we're looking at for colors and rush and setting and all that. But it's the value. I mean, I think that there for $100 for a retractable banner of that size to be built. When I say retractable, it means it's got a little stand that pulls up, it clicks in. So for that to get built for you for $100, that's a pretty great value. Inclusion in the official Upland Genesis Week programming, let people know who you are, what you're doing. Highlight in Genesis Week emails, mentions on Upland's social media platforms, and of course, all that time in front of people, shaking hands, telling them about your project, not shaking hands if that's not your thing, but having the opportunity to get in front of Uplanders who may or may not know who you are yet. And if they know who you are, maybe it's a great opportunity to laugh and chuckle and accept praise from somebody who enjoys what you're doing. And if they don't know who you are, it's an opportunity to teach them or show them or maybe appeal to them in a little way why they should follow you or why they should be excited by you or why they should go buy whatever it is from you. Again, upon approval, you'll be receiving instructions on submitting your designs. Again, be prepared to make designs if you are accepted. The banner is yours to keep. Again, if you get this made and this is something that represents your business in Upland or whatever the case is, or and it represents something that you're going to do continuously. Let's say it is a banner that says blank node in Upland, and you plan on having blank node in Upland continuing on for the next 2 or 3 or 5 years. That is something that's reusable. You would have to think about what type of graphics you put on there. You might not want graphics to say 2024, woo, 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 if you are going to be trying to reuse it. But if you say blank node group, and you're going to keep blank node group going, and you're going to say including blank neighborhoods, yeah, that may be something that you can reuse again and again and again. And for the value, you gain a good product for a reasonable price. And that everything else that's on that list is really just gravy on there. Upland's just recouping their costs to make this banner essentially a promotional material, piece of promotional material. And it's pretty nice. They were last year anyways. I can't guarantee what they're going to look like this year. I haven't seen them. It comes down a little bit to your artwork, so I can't guarantee how good your artwork's going to be. But if you put the work in, you're proud of the artwork, I think it's going to come out and look great. And again, potentially reusable here. You do have to get those designs in by April 22nd at 11:59 p.m. PT. So if you're going to apply, keep that in mind. If you are approved, if you're accepted, the designs are going to be due on the 22nd of April at 11:59 p.m. So you have to be able to beat that deadline if you're going to be participating. Don't miss out on this incredible opportunity, incredible chance to be an integral part of Genesis Week 2024. Apply now and become an exhibitor, and let's make this event a milestone in the Upland journey together. We got a little thing of 2023 highlights. We've seen this video 4 or 5 times. Yeah, this is the 8-minute and 32-second one. I've seen this one a half dozen times. I've showed this one a couple times to people. I've broadcast and streamed this one a couple times. So I can say that it is available for you to take a look at if you have a chance to, if you do decide to do so. It's kind of fun. It's nicely cut together. It shows some different elements of Genesis Week, highlighting more, the people doing things and enjoying themselves. So definitely take a chance to take a look at that if you choose to do so. But we're going to get more of this Genesis Week to come, more information. And I can guarantee this particular promotional Genesis Week 2023 video is going to be on some more of them. So you will see it again if we don't see it this time around. St. Patrick's Day Bonanza. I've been talking about this. We know I get excited about this. About what's the new? Hey, KO Ninja. What's the new holiday? What's the next holiday we're gonna do? We missed some. We skipped some holidays when it comes to selling block explorers or selling map assets. And I've been speculating. Maybe there's gonna be an Upix sale coming up. Maybe we're gonna sell some things that you can actually buy with Upix. Fat chance, Goldie. Not this time around. Definitely, maybe something that comes up in the not so distant future. This time around, it is not the case. Again, Upland selling things into USD, the Upix market. People buying things in Upix, having the opportunity to buy them in USD, putting them in a showroom in the game of Upland, having people in the game of Upland spend UPX to buy that item. If they're not in a position to buy it in USD or whatever the case is, it's a specific item that they want. They're in a better position to buy it in Upix. That could be an opportunity for you to amass your Upix value for all the other things that you want to do in the game. Upix continues to be used in minting the game of Upland. It is a token that people use in between Uplanders. It'd just be interesting if it was also usable to buy these map assets from Upland every once in a while. Just saying. So let's take a look at this this sale. We're ready to give you something exciting this time out. Again, holiday, leprechauns, St. Patrick's Day. We've done this before, but we're doing it again. With the chance to get your hands on legit, some block explorers, UPX, and even some Spark along the way. Plus, some of your historic block explorers can get in on the action. We'll take a look at what type of action we're talking about here. We always have that conversation. It's nice to hear the words, interactivity. It's nice, with our old block explorers or use case or utility. Or it's nice to see that. There's certain types of utility use case that I like more than others. We'll talk about what's actually happening here, how we actually can interact with our old block explorers or old assets in this new 2024 event. There's a bunch of goodies up for grabs, so make sure you read the article here. Let's go take a look at the article. All right, St. Patrick's Day. Again, legit extravaganza, celebration of luck and hope. I just feel like I did roll the dice and did some luck and wasn't too lucky. This St. Patrick's Day, Upland is taking the celebrations to an entirely new level with a unique event that combines the thrill of collecting with the excitement of a special burn event. Again, is burn a utility? For some people, it is. It's an opportunity to get rid of what you have if you don't value it, if you're not excited about it, but you want to get something new. You have the opportunity to do so. So, is it my ultimate form of utility? Is it using one asset to enhance another asset while keeping ownership of both assets? It's not. But it is the opportunity of using one asset to enhance another asset by giving up ownership in one asset. So maybe, just maybe, that's something that that you are interested in. Again, when I say burn, it's usually pairs. It's usually burnt in bundles. It's usually not burnt one for one, of course. But we'll get into the details of how this burning's working this time around. Patty's Party Pack. The St. Patrick's Day bundle sale is here. Each Patty's Party Pack. I'm not sure I like that. Each Patty's Party Pack is your gateway into a treasure trove of unique collectibles. The Patty's Party Pack contains a unique mix of 3 St. Patrick's Day NFTs. The bundles are randomly selected, offering a mix that could include both block explorers and legits. Could. Or exclusively one of these types. Block explorers, legits, all block explorers. We don't know. Could be any of those. Don't miss your chance to grab these limited edition bundles. It's a perfect opportunity to add some St. Patrick's Day flair to your Upland collection. We've done St. Patrick's Day in the past. There's some old stuff out there. And wait, there's an opportunity for that old stuff. Registration starts March 12th at 8 a.m. PT. Guess what? That already started. We're going. March 13th at 9 a.m. PT is when the sale gets kicked off. The sale price, $12. Again, as I already kind of growled at the beginning, it is USD only sale. It is what it is. I would like to see some UPX direct sales in the not so distant future. Fingers crossed. We'll see how that goes. 638 of these bundles are available total. Let's take a look at some items that are going to be around this time around. There's going to be 100 mints of the Fairy Folk Florin. There's going to be 100 mints of the Emerald Island Delight. I don't like green frosting. The Dublin Draft, again, making beer green. I'm not sure that's my thing either. And the Ballad Harp, the harp right here. That's the one. The Ballad Harp, 100 mints of the Ballad Harp. And then we got some legits here. Obviously, these ones up here are map assets. Or what are they? We are going to say this Block Explorer. So we haven't yet seen the word Block Explorers, except for up here. We haven't seen the word map assets. These look a little map asset-y to me, but I guess they're Block Explorers. So these are Block Explorers here. And then down here, obviously, these look a lot like legits. So we've got the Rainbow Serenade, the Fairy Folk Florin, the Celts. Wow. Yeah, I'll go Celtic. I almost went with Celtic because I am from the Northeast, but Celtic Clover, you gotta represent. It's that time of year. Dublin Draft, Lucky Cobbles, the Rainbow Serenade, Fairy Folklore Florin, the Celtic Clover, the Dublin Draft, the Lucky Cobbles. Oh my gosh. Look at this. There's different rarities here. Well, that's fun. So we have two rarities here. We have the rarity of scarce and we have the rarity of rare. There are 200 mints of the scarce and there's 100 mints of the rarities. Relative rarity legits, Upland. Good job. That's a little bit of a fun pack there. You got to have different rarities burnt potentially to have different things happen. I like it. It's good. It's interesting. It is a little bit of a layering of utility. It's a little bit of a roll the dice crapshoot. A little bit of an opportunity to have a reason why people are buying and selling things on the secondary market because they got one rarity, they need another, or because they got one of the 5 and they need a different one. Let's take a look and see what that looks like down the line here. How much that sugars out, how much that shakes out. The Leprechaun Burn event, the heart of the St. Patrick's Day celebration is the burn event, where strategy meets luck. The goal is simple. Burn both old and new Block Explorers, old and new Block Explorers, alongside the special Patty Day legits to unearth random Leprechaun map assets. So this is map asset driven. We just have to earn them through a burn event instead of going and buying anything. We've got the Seamus Mischief. We have the Finnegan Spry. And then we've got the Liam Twinkle Toes. Yeah. Those leprechauns are pushing me right now. But you could have them. They could be yours. Just a little bit of luck, a little bit of effort. Players have until Wednesday, March 20th at 9 a.m. PT to burn these assets and earn a special leprechaun map asset. Burn combos. Okay, this is where the rubber meets the road. This is how it's done. Burning the following combinations will get you a random leprechaun map asset. Random meaning that you don't know which of the 3 of these guys are going to be showing up outside your house, peeking in your window once you do burn the appropriate combinations. All right, let's take a look. So you can burn, what are we looking at right here? We are looking at, and keep in mind, they do say 1 of 1. Those are illustrative only. So you burn one of these, you burn one of these, you burn one of these, poof. You get a random asset. You burn a rainbow, you burn a rainbow, you burn a rainbow, poof, you get an asset. You burn a shamrock, you burn a shamrock, you burn a shamrock, poof, you get an asset. You burn a coin, you burn a coin, you burn a coin, you get an asset. And let's see if we get more details on this because I don't know if the rarity is playing into this. If the rarity is playing into this, let's know and let's be told up front. And again, little shoe and a hat. That's what I'm going to go with. This is the Irish cap. This is St. Patrick's Day, little shoes, and now it becomes creepy leprechaun. Look at that. And there's more. Every burn of an old or new St. Patrick's Day Block Explorer or Legit grants you an entry into a drawing for more Spark and UPX rewards. 10 lucky players will receive 50,000 UPX. 5 lucky players will receive 0.2 UPX from that burn. And again, this is a random burn event. I burn them I put my hands behind my back, or I take my hands back in front of me. I wash them up, and it's like it didn't happen. I'm not paying attention to what I did. It doesn't have a direct reward. It's a potential for a future draw. Eligible burning of to earn points are the following St. Patrick's Day block explorers. So there's a whole list here. St. Patrick's Day block explorers are legit. You can burn all of these. You can get an entry for each. Obviously, the scarce Rainbow Serenade, the rare Lucky Cobbles, the legendary Bounty Basin, the scarce Dublin Draft, the rare Fairy Folk Florin, the rare Celtic Clover, the scarce Fairy Folk Florin. Oh, we're going right down this list, aren't we? We got all these legits up here. We got all these block explorers down here. Keep in mind that we have a variety of what can be burnt, and that includes some old stuff here as well. So there you go. Like that, those are all eligible for the burn. Pot of Gold. Among the bundles, some fortunate players will discover the coveted Pot of Gold legits. Burning these rare legits will not contribute to the festive spirit. Will not only contribute. Wow, I missed that one. Not only can contribute to the festive spirit of luck, but also net you fantastic rewards when burning separately. Bounty Basin Epic. You get 50,000 epics when you burn that. That's fun. Bounty Basin Legendary. You get 0.2 spark, plus you're entered in the opportunity to win. So that's cool, and you get it automatically. 0.2 spark's a pretty big burn. So you get it, you burn it, you get something out of it. You can't pull out of a pack of cards a 0.2 spark, right? When you open those bundles and things are popping out, the 0.2 spark doesn't pop out. Instead, you get this Bounty Basin Legendary. You just burn it to get the 0.2 spark. That's fun. This St. Patrick's Day Upland is the place to be for both seasoned collectors and newcomers alike, with the Patty's Party Pack and the engaging burn event. We're excited and celebrating in true Upland style, where fun meets fortune and every player has a shot at the luck of the Irish. Couple things. With the 638 packs, 638, I think the number sounds right. We are ultimately, maybe we're going to have, wow, look at that. I get the right number of bundles. We are ultimately going to have people who are going to buy more than one. You ultimately are probably going to have to buy more than one if you want to get any of these natively, right? So if you want to get any of these combinations, get the same one, get the same one, get the same one, same rainbows, same shamrocks, all across the coins here, all across, look at the hat and shoes. If you want to do that, you are going to have to either buy multiple packs more than likely, because there's going to be distribution and not everyone's going to get the same packs, and you're not going to get 3 of the same thing in your pack. But you're also possibly going to have to engage in trading between people or buying and selling in the secondary market. You might buy a pack and end up with 3 of these block explorers, and you only want to burn one of the block explorers, and maybe you sell the other 2 or whatever you end up doing. But ultimately, that's kind of part of the game, and the fun of these things is that you're going to the market and buying and selling, and maybe you enter one way and you head out a different direction because you can't complete the set. So you sell what you've got and you help somebody else complete the set. And maybe you took a profit along the way. And that's how these gamification, or these elements of gamification, tend to work out. People do enjoy them, and I hope you do too, because that's what we're getting a lot of right now. The Upland just kind of enjoyed this idea of the burn. They kind of pushed this idea of the burn. I get it. They can keep that if they want. What I was looking for right here is clarification. I wanted clarification that right here that says you got to buy a scare, you got to burn a scarce, and you got to burn a rare. It doesn't say that here. It doesn't say that. It just says this one and this one, they look exactly the same. There's nothing here that says rare. There's nothing here that says scarce. The background is different. Pop, 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 pop. So the background's different. So I think that is our rare and our scarce. I think we see this one with the leafy roof here. We look over here and there's a little different view of a building. And yeah, I think that's it. I think it's a rare. I think it's scarce. And I think that right there is capping the collection with a block explorer. That's the best we're going to do because the language wasn't here. Just put this here. Just put the scarce. Just put the rare. Just say block explorer and line it up so it's easy to know. But yes, I mean, looking at this, you see the background here, you see a different background here, you see a background here, you see a different background here. That's going to be the scarce. That's going to be the rare. Done deal. I think we figured it out. But you're essentially completing the set, and you're gaining a prize out of it. If you complete the set, if you burn through to complete the set, you will get a prize. Keep that in mind with that burn event. And again, with the dates here, players will have until Wednesday, March the 20th at 9 a.m. to burn these assets and earn the special Leprechaun map asset right here. But keep in mind a couple things on this. Again, you got to burn the right proportion. You got to burn 1, 1, 1. You can't burn 3 of the map asset, 3 of the block explorers to get 1 map asset. This is not going to happen. You're going to be wasting those block explorers. So keep that in mind. And also, it is one of those things that you're going to have to potentially buy more than 1 pack to complete, or you're going to have to go pay more than mint price on the secondary to get whatever it is you're looking for. Maybe you get a ton of those scarces, but none of those rares, and now you're going to pay quite a bit more than you want to buy a rare because there's less rares than scarces. That's how these pack rarity hit things work. We know that the block explorers, we go up to the block explorers. We know there's only 100 of each of these block explorers, even though there's 200 of these, even though there's 100 of each of these. So, these are twice as common as these are here, and come on, scroll. These are twice as common as all of these are up here. And what do we got? What do we got? That rainbow, the Patty's rainbow, is not featured up here. I think we're missing it. I think we're missing that Patty's rainbow. We do have this Patty's rainbow right here, St. Patty's Day rainbow asset block map asset right there. So keeping that in mind for the block explorer, the rainbow block explorer not being up there, a little bit of an oversight. But we do want to see that we have different map assets or different block explorers, different asset types being burnt together. Again, this case is a block explorer burning with a legit, giving you a map asset. We've burnt map assets in the past. We've burned cards in the past, or prepared to burn cards in the past. So just keep that in mind, that this is and it can be an expansive part of the game. We're going to continue to see burns get built into the game. If it's something you love, then keep doing the burns. If it's something you don't like, find what you do like in the game and stay in that track, because these burns give me heartburn sometimes, because it makes you nervous that I burn the right things. And it's also it's a feel of loss. You got to give something up to get something, and maybe a little bit of sacrifice is good for us every once in a while. But that also means that if I want one of these things that I don't really want, I mean, you're entitled to them. It's just something about, that smile and the eyes. And I've seen Leprechaun, one of the greatest pieces of cinematic accomplishment that Jennifer Aniston's ever been in her life. Look it up, take a look, watch it. Watch your Leprechaun 1, 2, 3, 6, 8, 10, 15. I don't know. There's a lot of them. He gets up in space at some point, but they just remind me too much of that Leprechaun. And maybe that's why I'm not going to be gunning for these guys. But more power to you if you are. Maybe you like the creepy stuff. Maybe you like the horror. It's not my thing. But good luck to you if you are. And of course, I do want to touch another couple things here. We'll just leave this at, again, it's a USD sale. We can continue to enjoy the USD side of things. I want to give one big strategy to people who are saying, I can't afford to keep doing this. I personally can't afford to keep doing this. I can't participate in every sale in USD till the end of time. $100 every week, $100 every 2 weeks, whatever it is. It's $200, $400, $600 a month in Upland. That's not where I can afford to be. But what you can do is pick and choose. And if you are working in an area of the game that you enjoy, and this happens to keep hitting an area of the game you enjoy, and you don't have a ton of money in the bank, or you have priorities. You got money, but you got to put it in different places. We're all in those positions. But what you could do, and what would make the appeal is, if you choose that this is something you really want to do, but you feel torn, you feel like, I don't have the money, you can always sell in the game of Upland into USD if there's assets that you want to sell through a shop. If you've got a meta venture, hint, wink, wink, nod, nod. having a meta venture is kind of nice because it makes it easy for you to list things. Hint, hint. It makes it easy for you to sell in USD. It makes it easy with map assets because map assets are really hard to sell because you cannot sell through the submerchant. Submerchant is not an option with map assets. You'd have to essentially sell it to somebody or give it to somebody. They sell and they give you a profit afterwards, or you sell it to them at a fraction of the value so that they can sell it. Whatever you end up doing, you're not the one who's actually controlling that listing unless you have the shop yourself. So maybe this is an appeal for meta ventures, for map assets. Excuse me, one more time. I've done it before. I've said it before. Have your own meta venture. It's not the worst thing in the world to do. But if that's something you're doing, obviously you can sell into USD. You can fill your Tilia account up. You can sell some other types of map assets as a submerchant. I said map assets, but some other types of legits as a submerchant through the shows, the rooms that exist. If you don't have your own showroom, so you do have an opportunity to make USD without having to constantly open your wallet. What you're ultimately doing at that point when you're making USD is you're making a choice. You're choosing to give up an asset you already have to try to get enough of USD to go and buy something that you want new. And that's not the worst thing in the world. Maybe you can go through and cull your collection and you got 11 properties in one neighborhood, and maybe they're collection properties, and maybe you're trying to keep that collection, but you can't put 11 collection properties in a single collection. So maybe you cull that down. Maybe they winnow that down a little bit, take those profits in USD and turn around and take part in one of these bundle sales. And I will say it again, even if you feel compelled to be in this sale, and you feel compelled to be in the next sale, and the next sale, and next sale, and next sale, and next sale, and you've got the funds, and you feel that it's something you want to do, you can 100% go and do it. If you run into these brick walls where you keep finding things that you're not interested in buying, you don't have to be one of the people buying them. There's other aspects of the game. I want you to continue to be excited about the game and to lean towards the things that you are interested in. If there are things that you're going to continue, continue moving along on and waiting for, more power to you. And if there are things that you are going to, wait to maybe something new happens in the game and that's where you want to be, then wait for that thing then in the game, and maybe it won't ever come, but at least you don't feel like you were compelled to spend money that you wish you didn't a week afterwards. So that's my appeal on these USD sales that keep happening. Participate as you choose to participate, and ultimately just don't feel overly stressed about having to participate in these events if it's a real hardship to get in and participate. I do want to say congratulations to JT because he did put this in here. Hit big here, 200K Manhattan property and the Freedom Tower in Miami. So JT got that really special landmark down in Miami. 7 million UPX. Hot diggity dog. Winner, chicken dinner. It wasn't Goldie. We saw what Goldie got. But congratulations, JT. Good job. You didn't do much to win. It was just what everybody else did. They purchased and they waited. But you got lucky, and congratulations on that. We all had the same opportunity. We all took the same swing. Nobody rolled the dice a little. Oh, sorry, large JT. Wow. Well, congratulations, large. Winner, chicken dinner large. I wish it was you, JT, because you're the one who gave me the news. But hey, congratulations, large. That is huge. That is not something that I got this time around, but it's why we play. We play these type of events. We do these type of random selections because we hope that next time is our time, or we just like punishing ourselves. I think that's what I keep doing on these. But again, it was fun. It was fun for me. I ended up with more UPX on the 1,000 to 1 basis than if I had gone and bought UPX. So not the worst day in the world. And with that, I want to thank everybody for being in tonight. I'm going to just check on the Discord. Just make sure I didn't miss anything over there for all the people who are hanging out over there. I always like to put there on the doggy. I got an announcement. This is why I check. 11:21 my time during the show. Quick update about the travel bundles first. We regret any confusion related to the bundles and appreciate your patience. After a thorough review by the Upland team, we can confirm the properties associated with the bundles are accurate. You get what you get. However, there has been an oversight concerning the vehicles. Players who were supposed to receive a Series T but received a Series 4 instead will be compensated with the price difference in UPEX within the next 24 hours. Congratulations, you got a Series 4, you got 50,000 UPEX. You can spend any way you choose to. We apologize once again for this mix-up. Thank you for your support. So there's people who thought they were getting a truck. They bought into a special pack to get the truck. They didn't get a truck. They got a Series 4 instead. Now they're getting the difference between the two, keeping the Series 4. Okay, that works for me. I'm glad we got that in the show. I'm glad that at least they made it public and let everyone know. And again, at least it's a direct compensation. If not a bonus compensation, at least it's a direct compensation. The thing here again was the couple things we had talked about at the beginning of the show. Some people got less lucky, more lucky. Barco ended up with a property that Brian was letting us know is a $200 floor. Again, some people do better, some people do worse. I didn't do as good as good as Barco got, and Barco still didn't feel like he did great. So some people get lucky. Just NFT putting in that note here, that Large just cleaned up. Looks like it's had some pretty impressive properties there. So congratulations, Large. We'll get there. We'll come back to that here. I did see that drop here, but I'm not going to read that at this point. Can't jump off the page at this point. What is Layer 3? Layer 3, again, has been something that's been discussed and argued and contemplated. People are already using the term Layer 3 to say that there's the Layer 1, which is the platform, the base layer, asset layer, whatever the case is. And then you have Layer 2s, where you have Layer 2s that are built on top of the asset layer, work directly with those assets. And they're talking about things like Layer 3s that are interoperable nodes between other Layer 2 projects. So a project that's gonna work in between this Layer 2 project and this Layer 2 project and this Layer 2 project, and kind of combining the three or allowing interoperability, interchangeability between what would have otherwise been closed ecosystems. And I think it's just the easiest way to call it, rather than saying Layer 1, Layer 2, Layer 3, is say this is all part of the Web3 experience. This idea that there's interconnectivity between these different projects and tied in different ways, that there's potential commerce in between each of these individual groups. Essentially think about it as microtransactions, and instead of thinking about a Web 1, which is a static page, and Web 2 is an interactive page, and Web 3 is essentially having a nodal network where we each individual party can interact with each individual party, as opposed to interacting with a static source that has an interactivity. Instead of looking at it all that way, we can just say, again, Web 3, we can just say that it's all connected, and that's the point here, and that's the point of the metaverse. That's the point of trying to do this a little experiment that we've been doing for 4 or 5 years here in Upland, and we're closing on the 5 years here in Upland for some people. Is that we do want there to be interoperability. We want there to be interoperability between different metaverses, and we do want people to be able to build on top of Upland. And I say metaverses. Ultimately, metaverse platform is a proper term. Metaverse is how all the metaverse platforms interact with each other. It ties them all together. And again, whether we choose to use that language, a Layer 1, Layer 2, Layer 3 or not. And of course, we are looking forward to that next step. And that's going to be Genesis Speak, more Genesis Speak, maybe. I guess the next thing is we have coming out. Again, thank you so much, everybody. We got through it all. We are going to look forward to more trickles in on Genesis Week. We're going to look forward to collection reveal on Thursday of this week, 9 a.m. PT. So if you're not in to South Lake Tahoe, you still have time to get in. There's still limited properties in there, and you have to travel by car. Okay, That's where we are. But I do want to also thank everyone for being here tonight, Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. PT. We do this. We hold things down here in the Upland Cafe, on Discord, over on the Plaza in Upland on Tuesdays and Fridays, and on YouTube 5 nights a week. So if you can make it, we'd love to see it. Again, thank you everybody who makes it in on the Discord side of things. That is an opportunity for, if you choose to make it, if you can make it, to be part of the conversation. When we do finish off the show, we go in and voice and we have that conversation, which is great. Anybody who wants to open their voice up and be part of it. And if you are watching on YouTube, feel free to jump over to Upland Discord if you know the way. Definitely can do that as well. Everyone is welcome. But for tonight, thank you so much for being here. Looking forward to tomorrow. Maybe some more announcements and getting ready for Genesis Week. Thank you again. To those in Discord, please feel free to unmute your mics. The floor is yours.